right, y'all. Saturday night, Chris Rock went live on Netflix with his Outrage special. And there's been a lot of folks who have been commenting on social media, sharing their thoughts, and there are folks who are angry and upset. Chris used the N-word. They're angry and upset because he called Jada Pinkett Smith the B-word. They're angry and upset that he alluded to or he talked about watching Emancipation, the movie starring Will Smith, to see him get beat by a white man and all this sort of stuff like that. Oh, they upset y'all because he cracked jokes about Meghan Markle as well and all of that. So I'm just very curious. Saturday night, was that a comedy show that happened Saturday night, or was he giving a keynote address? Because I'm just trying to understand, why are people so mad that a comic told jokes? Now let me be perfectly clear. I know Chris, I know Will, I know Jada, and nobody wants to have jokes made about them, but that's what comics do. I've been in the show that I'm just understanding we are so damn sensitive to. I'm watching. Why did this comedy show take place in Baltimore? He's not from there. That wasn't a personal affront to Jada because she's from there. Why wasn't it shot in Philadelphia? Y'all, comedians do comedy shows in a lot of places they ain't from. The Kings of Comedy, which was shot by Spike Lee, was shot in Charlotte. Bernie Mac ain't from Charlotte. DL ain't from Charlotte. Say It ain't from Charlotte. Steve Harvey ain't from Charlotte. So what the hell are we doing? The jokes that he was... Do I need to remind everybody that one of the seminal Chris Rock comedy specials that is considered one of the greatest all time was... I'm so mad I left the damn DVDs at home. It's called Bring the Pain. In Bring the Pain, Chris Rock cracked jokes about Marion Barry being a crackhead at the Million Man March. He talked about OJ killed his wife and said, I ain't saying this right, but I understand. We could go on and on. So this notion that nobody can be made, I saw somebody say, well, I'm just tired of these comedians punching down. That's what they do. When I go to a comedy show, I am not expecting a damn intellectual debate between Cornel West and Michael Eric Dyson. I'm not. When I go to a comedy show, I'm not expecting to see Thomas Sowell and Julian Malveaux give me a breakdown about micro and macroeconomics. When I go to a comedy show, I'm not expecting to see Dr. Cynthia Hale and Pastor Jamal Bryant give me an exegesis of the text. I'm expecting to go to a comedy show to hear somebody get talked about. Because that's what comics do. If we really want to sit here and stop playing these silly ass games, and yes, I'm calling them silly games, because this notion that, oh no, you can't talk about anybody. Really? Did comics talk about Bill Clinton when he was president? Do comics talk about how old Joe Biden is? Do other comics talk about racism? Oh, and then you got all the folk. See, here's part of the deal. We're now living in a world where news stories and think pieces are now being written where we are deconstructing the jokes. Y'all pull up the tweets. The Daily Mail, Fox News, Megyn Kelly, everybody writing about, pull it up, come on. Chris Rock mocks Meghan Markle's royal racism claims in comedy special. Sometimes it's just some in-law shit. No, go back. The root word is comedy special and mocks. Then you got Megyn Kelly, her silly ass, she goes, Chris Rock nails it. The Daily Mail story, Chris Rock slams Meghan Markle for telling Oprah family was racist. It's called joke. Now, y'all know what's interesting? Y'all got the Fox News tweet? Y'all got that one? Pull that. That's Fox News tweet, y'all. This is the Fox News tweet right here. Now, y'all notice, Fox News and Megyn Kelly, they ain't say shit about Chris Rock's joke about how white men are now victims. Oh, if y'all didn't watch the special, first of all, I saw Chris in St. Louis, him and Dave Chappelle, so pretty much he was practicing many of these jokes, so I actually saw it, but I did today watch the full special. Y'all notice all these conservatives and the liberals, they ain't had nothing to say when Chris Rock said, oh, well, the white men were climbing the walls on January 6th like the white planet of the apes. Oh, no, we ain't talking about that. Oh, saying Chris Rock talked about abortion. Yep, sure did. The same Chris Rock talked about raising kids, all kind of stuff. But I'm just trying to understand, when do we get to the point that we are expecting comics to be giving us presidential level speeches and dissertations on life in America? I can think back to Don Rickles, Rick Ducommun, Monique, Bernie. I mean, we could go on. George Carlin. We could go on and on. Comics make jokes about all sorts of people. Monique used to crack on skinny women. Then she cracked on fat women. Now today, oh no, why are you talking about skinny women and fat women? We've had comedians talk about light-skinned people, dark-skinned people. Hell, Chris talked about white women being brought home and bringing a white man home. Y'all, what are we doing? Why are we as a society so damn sensitive that we now are analyzing comedy shows as if they are sermons? They're not. If you don't like Chris Rock, don't take your ass to a Chris Rock show. Real simple. If you don't like Lisa Lampanelli, and if you didn't like Ralphie May, and who, when he was alive, if you don't like Ali Sadiq, I can go on and on. Don't take your ass. If you are so damn sensitive and you don't want to hear a joke about nobody straight, nobody gay, nobody trans, nobody married, nobody single, nobody rich, nobody poor, nobody tall, nobody short, nobody skinny, nobody fat, nobody light-skinned, nobody dark-skinned. You want to talk about somebody with natural hair, processed hair. If you don't want to hear any of those jokes, my suggestion is you don't go to a comedy show. My suggestion is you don't watch comedy specials or watch Comedy Central, because you're likely going to be offended. Comics always go after the joke. That's what they do. Why are we tripping because comics are doing what they do. I'm a Congo. This is one of the stupidest comments. This is what Akeem Smith just wrote on YouTube. Brother Roland, people's feelings are real. Comedians need to understand this also.
Wow. I think one of the challenges here is that what it really comes down to, particularly with black comedians and black entertainers in general, is that mainstream society takes our black comics and looks at them as leaders in our community, as opposed to being comedians, right?
Sustained. Go ahead.
when Steve Harvey, wrote his book, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man, people were calling him the relationship expert, as if they're not, black relationship experts out there. When Chris Rock did the documentary, Good Hair, a few years ago, people were talking about him as a black hair expert. And when there's issues going on in the civil rights in the black community, who do people call? Charles Barkley to get up there and speak. And then in places like Fox, you get the Diamonds and Silks. And so people take these folks who are not serious as relates to leaders in our community, and because they don't really respect black intellect, and won't do the work to call up the Roland Martins or the Dr. Malveaux or the Laurens like we have on the Black Star Network every single day. They put these guys in the place of our leaders, and then they attach all these expectations to them that they don't attach to other comedians. As someone who teaches on a college campus, I know that there are a lot of comedians of all backgrounds nowadays who are scared to come to campuses because they feel like they can't make jokes because people are going to attack them. And I think it's particularly heightened for black comedians. And so I feel like at the end of the day, I agree with you. We need to relax. And I think that we can't get on our comics. I'm not saying comics get a free pass on everything, but like you said, they have a job, they have a role, and they are not black leaders. They are not leaders in our community.
They're
of course,
comedians.
they're smart, but they're not our leaders. Leave it alone.
Julian, I had a professor who I saw a comment today who said that there's a photographer who he follows and who does very tasteful images, nude images. He's a photographer, and that this ain't porn. I mean, this is art. This professor liked one of the images, and several students complained to the professor's boss that they felt unsafe because he liked the photo. And his boss said, that's a grown-ass man who can like what he wants to like. How are you unsafe? And so I'm watching these people, and let me be real clear. I absolutely get it. If you're Jada Pinkett Smith, and if you're Will Smith, or hell, if you're anybody, you don't want anybody mocking you, cracking jokes on you. But I have seen literally thousands of comedy shows where I have seen sports folks being mocked, actors, actresses, political people, journalists, folk with no hair, little hair, lots of hair. I mean, I've seen you. If we are sitting here at a comedy show, Julian, and if I'm sitting next to you, and depending upon where we sitting, a comedian, you never know, might crack on your red hair and your light skin, might crack on my hair, might crack on something Lauren wearing, and we, oh my God, he's making them feel uncomfortable. Why does he have to say that? I'm like, yo, it's a fucking comedy show. This is what comics do. I don't understand why people don't understand. This is what they do. Historically, present day, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Moms Mabley, Dick Gregory. I can go on and on and on. My goodness.
You know, Roland, one of my funniest memories, I went to see Robin Williams. Remember him?
He talked about everybody.
He talked about me like a red-headed dog. I had the temerity to get up to go to the restroom, and he said, "Why is that itch go to the restroom while I'm talking.
Hold up, stop right there. Hold up, stop right there. So you got, first of all, anybody know you didn't get your ass up when he on the microphone. Okay. So he called you the B word. You didn't hop on Twitter and go, I'm offended. Robin Harris called me out of my name. He insulted me.
I cracked up big time. I thought the thing was hilarious. I mean, he got on my red jacket. Red is my favorite color. He got on my hair. He got on me getting up. And then he said, and she ain't got no man here either. She looked like she...
Hold on, Julian, stop right there. So this woman, Jennifer Triplett, this is what she just said. Can a woman please step in and be a voice? This is crazy. Look at Roland cussing. This is why I don't watch, but you watching. She says there is comedy and there is angrily there is comedy and there's angrily calling a black woman a bitch, as if, Julian, didn't you just say that Robin Harris used the B word?
Yes, he did, and talked about me like a striped dog. Yes, he did. And what was hilarious is afterwards, we're leaving, and he asked me my name, and he said, "Can I get a hug?" So he wanted to see if he got to me. He didn't get to me. You go to a comedy show, that's what happened. Now, I do not like two things, and it depends on when. But sister is acontextual. If you are angry, I don't like women being called itches. In other settings. In comedy, almost anything goes. I mean, literally, almost anything goes. I don't like the use of the N-word either, for any number of reasons.
Same here.
In comedy, almost anything goes. If you want to be politically correct, go to the Smithsonian and see an exhibit. But you're not going to get politically incorrect comedy. Now, there are some comedians who are racist, and we want to holler about them. But I think Chris Rock, by the way, is just hilarious. So I didn't watch it. Now you have motivated me to watch it. And quite frankly, regarding Will and Jada, they set themselves up for that. They are very blessed. That's all he said. I mean, come on, the brother punched Chris Rock in public. I mean, it's a wonder he didn't say worse about it. I want to see the whole thing, because from what you said and the little clips we've seen, it is hilarious.
If you punch a comedian, they gonna make a joke out of it, Lauren. Dave Chappelle got attacked on stage. I saw the show. Dave Chappelle got attacked on stage in LA, the Hollywood Bowl, and he said, man, all my friends came out and they beat the shit out of the dude. He said, sorry, Chris, didn't nobody come out to help your ass when you got attacked. I mean, this shit was it was hilarious. But I'm sitting here, I'm literally sitting here, and I'm just not understanding people who they're like parsing everything. Oh, he mentioned colorism. He said Draymond Green was so dark that he's standing right next to him, you wouldn't know he was standing right there. Chris is dark skinned. I mean, I don't get this hypersensitivity about everything, and we're treating comedians like they are, again, scholars, preachers, politicians, and CEOs.
Yeah, speaking of Dave Chappelle, I actually thought, I watched it right before the show, Chris Rock's special. He reminded me a lot of Dave Chappelle. I actually thought he was trying to sort of pull a Dave Chappelle and some of the topics he brought up, like abortion. But, the thing about this is that what I think is driving this entire thing is that there is currency in outrage. The way that these news organizations make money is clicks through outrage. The way that these social media sites get attention is click through outrage. So the entire conversation, every time somebody says something controversial, is driven by what can get attention. And Roland, you saw Chris Rock's special. He has a moment in there where he talks about how society is now addicted to attention.
Yep. And
the 4 ways you get attention. And of course, one of them was victimhood and showing your ass and being infamous. And he's absolutely correct about that. I mean, it's so, but attention is in the society we live in now, the way the metrics work behind the media business is that the clicks for outrage, the think pieces, the analyzing everything that everybody says, the being angry about everything, the hitting the like button, the getting people to hit the like button. What gets people to hit the like button is to be saying that you're outraged about something. People spend all day on Twitter doing that, okay? And that's how they get attention in their life. So a lot of this sensitivity, I think what we would say is hypersensitivity in our society that we didn't see previous to Facebook and Twitter and everything else, I think is actually driven by that, by that economy, by that creator economy, outrage economy. And there's a lot of money behind that in a lot of ways. So that's part of what we're seeing with the Chris Rock thing. He did go in hard at the end in that last 10 minutes, obviously, on Jada Pinkett. He brought up a lot of things that had already been previously brought up, so I'm not sure why we're acting as if this is new information. To be quite candid, I really could care less about any of these people outside the fact that they're in movies that I like. I mean, I loved Independence Day. I love a lot of the things Chris Rock has done, but I really don't care about celebrities that much. But I will say that I was a little surprised, as somebody who's not a huge Chris Rock fan, at the level of nuance that he brought to this hour, particularly around some of the more controversial topics. But I did realize as I was listening, this is exactly the type of thing, and I think he's smart enough to realize that, this is exactly the type of subject matter that will drive a lot of think pieces, a lot of attention, and a lot of concert bookings for him. And everybody gets fed all the way around, not only just him, but the media and everything that drives the creator outrage, clickbait economy.
Here's a perfect example. This same Jennifer Triplett. Do we not operate by a certain code of conduct? Let somebody call his daughter Lola a bitch. Okay, here's a perfect example. Go to my iPad. Kevin Hart did a special during COVID, and he made a comment about his teen daughter. And oh my God, Kevin Hart said this about his teen daughter. And he was like, are y'all serious? He's a comedian. Comedians, the other day, I saw a 3-minute long video that was utterly hilarious of Rodney Dangerfield cracking jokes about his wife. Flat out hilarious. I have seen comedians crack jokes about their husbands. I've seen people go in on all sorts of different things. And we're so sensitive. Oh my God, you shouldn't say that and say that. Again, let me be very clear, y'all. Julian said it. I don't like the N-word. Somebody hit me, well, Roland, how did you feel? You block people for using the N-word while you were at the show. I'm like, duh. First of all, if that's the case, there's a bunch of music I can't listen to. Okay, so it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I'm just removing everything. Here's the problem, folks. The fundamental problem that we have today is that we are trying to judge certain people on certain things, and not all things are equal. Now, when Michael Richards was on stage and Michael Richards went after the audience member using the N-word, here's what he did. He literally left I was on CNN and I said this with Paul Mooney. He left the confines of the stage. He wasn't doing his stage work. He left the confines of his stage and was attacking that man personally. Different deal. Now, and he wasn't even responding to a heckler. What Julian described was Robin Harris's style. When you went to that club in Los Angeles, everybody knew if you sat up front, you in trouble. If you got up, you in trouble. What did Robin Harris say? Put the light on him. Everybody know that. That's why Julian laughing. She was there. He would go, hey, put the light on him. So I'm just trying to understand, what have we got? Somebody told me, well, Chris and these other comedians, they've not evolved. No, maybe the problem is we've evolved so much, we actually forgot what comedy is all about. They rip and they make fun of everything and everybody. Nothing is off limits for comedians. And I've always said, the beauty of the sanctity of the comedy stage is that they will literally talk about anybody and anything at any time. And you know what their job is? Because I've interviewed too many comedians. They say, Roland, if I get the laugh, I've done my job. And so I see y'all comments. And so if you don't like Chris Rock, don't watch him.
Hello?
You don't like Dave Chappelle? Don't watch him. If you don't like any comedian style or tone, I heard Chris Rock, he's angry. Y'all, that's actually part of Chris's style. How he walks around the stage, how he looks. It's different styles. Bill Cosby killed by sitting in a chair for 2 hours. And the other comedians will go, damn, the brilliance of doing an entire show sitting in a chair. Y'all, that's what comedians do. I just hope people, again, you can, and here's the deal. You have a First Amendment right to criticize anything that you want. But give comedians the same right and the same liberty to do what they do on the stage, because that's who they are. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us.
We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it.
This is about covering us.
Invest in black-owned media.
Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks.
We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible.
Check some money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.